Hello, thinkers. I'm Carlos Alberto. Welcome to this special episode of our channel. Today, in Stoic Geopolitics, we are going to analyze an event of great geopolitical importance, the recent summit between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping held in Beijing, a meeting that clearly marks a change in tone in the relationship between the world's two largest powers. We will observe with serene clarity the movement of the pendulum of history, applying the dichotomy of control to distinguish what truly depends on us as peoples of the Americas from what does not. The summit produced concrete progress. Both countries agreed to establish a framework of constructive strategic stability to guide the relationship in the coming years. From the perspective of Stoic geopolitics, this is very significant. Among the most urgent issues was the conflict with Iran, and at the forefront, the situation in the Strait of Hormuz. The free passage of oil tankers through this channel is vital for the global economy. On this point, both powers agreed on the urgent need for normalization. The United States also reaffirmed its position that Iran must not possess nuclear weapons, citing the high danger posed by the regime. Another issue of vital importance, especially for China, is Taiwan. In this regard, Xi Jinping is not yielding on what he considers his hegemonic power in the area. The increasingly active role of Russia was also discussed, a topic that particularly concerns European countries. They also addressed the advancement of artificial intelligence, which is transforming the economy, warfare, and society, along with lithium and sensitive trade matters. China committed to purchasing 200 Boeing aircraft, with the possibility of increasing that number, as well as large volumes of soybeans, corn, and other American agricultural products. Friends and thinkers, these were promising agreements. They will not change the world overnight, but they do represent a pragmatic truce that temporarily lowers the temperature of global confrontation. We will analyze these strategic and profound issues in detail in upcoming episodes. Stay tuned, subscribe, and turn on the bell to receive all this content firsthand. It's all free. Returning to our analysis, always from Stoic Geopolitics. What does this important summit between the superpowers really mean for the Americas? When these superpowers reduce the intensity of their direct clash, the global pendulum tends to move towards stabilization. This movement also signals an opportunity for the peoples to make their demands and seek concertation. From this perspective, several new doors are opening. For Venezuela and Cuba, the relative détente between Washington and Beijing may reduce extreme ideological pressure and create greater space for the people to express their fundamental aspirations more forcefully, such as the reconstruction of a democratic system with free, auditable, pluralistic elections without political persecution. For the rest of Latin America, it means a wider margin for maneuver to negotiate with both powers without being forced into radical ideological positions. This also applies to countries like Brazil, where the population has been demanding justice and balance between institutional powers. Meanwhile, Argentina, Mexico, or Colombia can seek more pragmatic agreements in trade, technology, and investment. Economically, there is the possibility of relative stabilization in commodity prices such as oil, copper, lithium, and soybeans, which would benefit exporting countries in the region. But the deepest signal that the pendulum of history gives us, linked to the effects of the Trump-Xi summit, is this. These moments of détente between the two superpowers are especially opportune for a citizen awakening. They are doors that open, opportunities for social leaders to bring the people's demands to those in power. We see it in Venezuela. the internal breakdown of the Chavista regime, although slow because military power remains almost intact, is still advancing. Added to this is external pressure. The third leg of the stool, as we discussed in previous videos, belongs to the Venezuelan people. It is the people who must make themselves heard with clarity, maturity, and firmness. This is not about violent confrontation or waiting for magical solutions from outside. It is about intelligently and persistently demanding a minimum of stability and security that allows progress toward free, transparent, and fully auditable elections. The Venezuelan people have the opportunity to organize civically, strengthen civil society, demand transparency in institutions, reject everyday corruption, and pressure leaders both inside the country and in the diaspora to truly dialogue with the people and carry forward their concrete demands: food security, access to basic services, freedom of expression, real electoral guarantees, and a minimum of stability to rebuild the social and economic fabric of the country. This is the moment. Cuba is already doing it. Despite strong repression, its people are increasing demonstrations and internal pressure for change. Venezuela can and must do the same. Superpowers meet to make agreements that respond mainly to their own strategic interests, and those agreements are not always the best for the peoples. That is why Stoic Geopolitics reminds us of an ancient, profound, and practical truth. Every shepherd must care for his own flock. Leaders are needed, and they exist, but they must genuinely dialogue with the people, listen to their pain and aspirations, act with responsibility, and have a long-term vision. It is not enough for the pendulum to open doors. The people must cross them with civic demand, discernment, and collective virtue. The central Stoic lesson is clear and powerful. External changes only become real and lasting progress when they coincide with strong, conscious, and organized internal action by the people. Venezuela, Cuba, and all of Latin America have a new window before them today. The Stoic question is not what Trump and Xi will do in their next meeting. The real question is, what will we do with the opportunity that the movement of the pendulum is giving us right now? The future of our region will not be decided solely by the great powers. It will be decided by each people's ability to turn external movement into real internal progress, cultivating with discipline the virtuous triad: a productive economy, a strong culture with its own identity, and solid shared values. Thinkers, the pendulum continues to swing. Superpowers negotiate and move their pieces on the great board. But true sovereignty, true dignity, and true progress are built from within, with patience, virtue, and constant action. In the comments, I want to read you carefully. What door do you think is opening for your country with this détente between the United States and China? Are you ready for your people to take greater protagonism in this historic window? If you enjoyed this special analysis, give it a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. With these actions, you will be helping many more people to reflect in a Stoic way, because thinking well is living better. May virtue and clarity accompany you while you decide how to care for your own flock. A big hug to everyone.